My name is Carl Pearson, and I'm the grandson of Mr. Herbert Horatio Dudley. And for those of you who don't know Mr. Dudley, he was born in January of 1892, and he passed away in June of 1965. He was originally from Cordell, Georgia, but moved to Dublin as a young child and made an impact, something that he wanted to do on the city of Dublin and Lawrence County and the surrounding Middle Georgia area.
Could you describe a little bit how, not only how Dudley, but his father's business empire in Dublin, and how he was able to establish successfully such a strong community support as well here in Dublin?
Certainly. Mr. Dudley had a strong orientation, which came from his parents, on education, on access to resources, and on bettering his community, as his mother was a teacher, and she was also an advocate for families and children long before we called them families and children. And his father was a businessman, and he always focused on the needs of the community. So if he found a need in the community or something that wasn't being addressed, his answer was always to start a business to address that need. So Herbert Dudley came along during the time when there was a segregated South, and access to jobs and education and things like that weren't equal for all the people in the community. And so he didn't really focus on black and white, but he did focus on haves and have-nots. So you'll see in a lot of the documentation on what he did, focused on serving people who didn't have access to things that they needed. The basic things: food, education, housing, access to money to buy things that they needed. So that was a lot of his activity, and he always used his educational basis and his access to people who were in positions of power to get what he needed, and then he would share that with people who needed it. And there was always an objective in the back of his mind to make everything more of a level playing field, or again, equal access to opportunities and to money, if that's what it took, in order to make that happen.